Morning, America. How we doing today? Thought I'd come out to the shop here today. It's only 99 degrees out here today. It's a hot one again. Do a little follow-up on some of the questions y'all had. I was actually talking to my mom here a few days ago, and she says, "Well, what are you going to do about that? Are you going to buy that Kenworth? Yes or no?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't think so because." Well, here's why. When I first saw that the first time I saw the Kenworth was the one out in California, and I'm like, oh man, that'd be perfect. It's just a little too pricey. You know, $185,000 is just out of my budget. I just didn't want to spend that much money on a truck. The reasoning is, over at Choice, it's not a real high-paying, high revenue job. Okay, it's you make enough money to kind of sustain and stuff. You can make a little bit of money, but it's not. You're not making $4 a mile like heavy haul or something like that, okay? And the red truck, when I bought that red truck, that burgundy truck, the big sleeper truck, I paid $85,000 for it, brand new. Well, I'm sorry, used, okay? It was 10 years old when I bought it. It was an 07 and I bought it in 16, so it was 9 years old, okay? And I bought it for $85,000 and I ran it for 3 years, okay? Ran it for 3 years, didn't put hardly anything into it as far as major breakdown type stuff. Never had to overhaul it, never had any trouble with transmission, rear ends, nothing major. Had air conditioner went out, alternator, small stuff. Clutch went out, but that's kind of small stuff. I mean, I didn't have any big $20,000, $30,000 repair bills anywhere. So I had that truck for 3 years, and I was planning, now we're going back in time here. We were planning on doing the RV thing, so I was planning on waiting until November or so, something like November of 19, and then putting the thing up for sale, and then buying an RV and go traveling with Pam in the RV. Lo and behold, in June I wrecked the thing. Well, late June, it was almost July, last of June. I wrecked the thing, and people were just go out and buy another truck. Well, I didn't want to tell anybody about our plans with the RV thing, so I just kind of like, well, I don't know, I'll think about what I'm going to do. And I kept dragging it out, trying to fill in time until November came when I was going to sell the truck anyway, okay? So when I bought it for $85,000, and here it is 3 years later, I bought it in 16, and here it is in 19, I'd had it for right at 3 years. I could have turned around and sold that thing for about $75,000. So $10,000 depreciation in 3 years, that's not bad at all, and didn't put much money into it, okay? So when I could have sold it for $75,000. Now the insurance didn't pay quite that much, but I got a chunk back out of the insurance. But anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is that truck depreciated about $3,000 or $10,000 in 3 years. Okay, that's not bad at all. That's actually really good. Now, if I was to take the 185 on that blue Kenworth out in California, that really nice one, 185,000. It was a 15, I think, and it had a lot of depreciation left in it. So I could do the same thing, run over at Choice, doing the same kind of stuff. 3 years from now, what would that $185,000 truck be worth? 120 maybe? I don't know. I mean, they depreciate pretty fast down to a certain point. When they get down around the 70, 80, 90 range, these big sleeper trucks. And I'm not talking about normal, regular factory Peterbilts. I'm talking about these large sleeper big rigs, So they depreciate, they're brand new, they're in the 250, 270 range, and they depreciate really fast down to about 80 or 90. And then after that, they hold their value pretty well for several more years, and that's that sweet spot that I'm looking for, just like that burgundy truck. So when I bought that, or if I bought that blue truck for $185,000, after about 3 years, I go to sell it, it's worth, I don't know, maybe $120,000. That's $65,000 depreciation in 3 years. That's $21,000, $22,000 per year depreciation. That's a lot, compared to $3,000 in that other truck. So I can't justify, I can afford it, I just can't justify buying that expensive of a truck. Okay, I'm trying to think smart here. I'm trying to not go with passion. Ooh, pretty and shiny. Okay, so when this other blue truck comes up in Fort Worth over here and they want 99 for it, same truck, got a few more miles on it, but man, oh man. So I see it in the ad and I've got my expectations are way up here. I'm like, all right, I finally found it. So I run up there and look at it. And ever since then, ever since I saw an ad, its expectation, it's been coming down. It's been coming down. It's just not, every time I learned more about the truck, it was a negative. I go over and look at it. Let's get a little nitpicky stuff, but where they had the stickers on the side of the sleeper, you know, the name of the company, the vinyl stickers, they peel them off, they scratch the heck out of the paint job. So it's maybe something you need to repaint. Okay, well maybe I just put my stickers over the top of that and cover it up. I don't know. But the fenders are gone, the generator's gone, the truck looked like it'd been run hard. Everything that I kind of talked about in a previous video was like, man, it's just not, it's not what I thought it was going to be, or hoped it was going to be. So I come home, let's do some research on this thing. Well, on a car, you buy a car or pickup or something like that, you can go to Carfax and find out the history of the vehicle, you know, where it's been, what's been worked on at dealerships, at, you know, your Ford or Chevy dealers, whatever, Dodge dealer, whatever. And you can look up what kind of maintenance or repair bills or, you know, recalls, all that kind of stuff. Well, there's no Carfax for semis. There's no semi-fax is what I'm getting at. So why do you learn about it? Well, you can call dealerships. Now, this truck was bought at MHC. MHC is a dealership. It's a lot of dealerships. I venture to guess maybe about half of the Kenworth dealers in America are MHC dealers. Pretty much everything from I-40 south is MHC. Kansas City, MHC. Tulsa, Oklahoma, where this truck was bought from, MHC. Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, all the way down into Florida, all of Dixie, all of the South, for the most part. All the way out to, I think, Phoenix. I know El Paso is. I think Phoenix is MHC too. I'm not sure on that. California's not. California's not MHC, I don't think. Like LA area. But Denver, I mean, basically you take from Arizona, swing up through Denver, and then across I-70 over to about Ohio, and then from there south, everything south. That's all MHC dealerships. They've bought just about every dealership in the south. So anyway, MHC has a huge database. So I called them up and I said, hey, can you look up a VIN number on this truck? A VIN number. I got a friend of mine who gives me heck on that. A VIN number. What does VIN stand? V-I-N. Vehicle Identification Number. So when you say VIN number, you're saying Vehicle Identification Number. And he gives me heck about that all the time. But anyway, everybody just says VIN number. So anyway, I called him up and say, I got a VIN number on this truck. Could you look it up? Now, what they can look up is in their system, in an MHC system. Okay. Now, if it was out in California or if it was up north somewhere and it wasn't an MHC dealer, they can't look it up because it's not in their system. Okay. But she went through and she started looking at all the different things that had been done on this truck. And she started, well, back, it's got 933,000 miles on it when I looked at it. And she says at 850,000 it had a bell housing, a clutch, blah, blah, blah. She basically a clutch overhaul, you know. That's an it's an automated transmission, but it's still got a clutch in it, okay? It's not a true automatic like in your car, okay? They're auto shift transmissions, okay? It's a manual transmission that has a little computer on top that shifts for you, okay? And so it's still a manual transmission and still has a manual clutch, okay? These newer ones are two-pedal trucks. They have a gas pedal, you know, accelerator, and a brake, but they don't have a clutch pedal. They have an automated clutch. It's still a clutch, but it's, anyway, they had a new clutch put in around 850,000 miles. Then she went back, blah, 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 went all the way back. Well, they came in and bought a couple little things here, had a alternator put on and windshield wipers and just little minor stuff here and there. She goes, okay, way back around 300,000 miles, it had an overhaul on it. I'm like, oh, really? That's good. That's good news, because now I only got, wait a minute, that can't be an overhaul because it's only got 3 hours. You know, the mechanic that worked on it only worked on it for 3 hours. And she got to thinking, well, that can't be, she got to looking a little bit more. Oh, no. That was air compressor overhaul. So, oh, okay, so air compressor went bad on it, they overhauled that. So the motor still hasn't been overhauled. Transmission hasn't been touched or whatever. So that truck had been pretty good all the way up to 900,000 miles. But it's got 900,000 miles. It won't be long. Usually around 1 million, you're looking at overhauls. I got lucky with my red truck. I bought it with 1.1 million, expecting to have to overhaul the thing, and I never did. I never had to overhaul it. So I got 1.4 million on it and when I wrecked the thing. And I never had to put an overhaul in it. Whereas this blue truck, you don't know. I mean, some of these trucks, they overhaul at 500,000. You know, something goes wrong with them, you know. So anyway, she goes down and looks through all the history of it and finds out, well, there's the clutch and a few little minor things and air compressor and just, yeah, that's about all I can tell you about it. It was out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The couple that owned it. She actually gave me their name. I said, well, could you give me their phone number and I can call them? She goes, no, I can't do that. So, all right, so I can't call the people that used to own it. And the truck it's a 2015, so in 19 it would have been 4 years old, and usually around 4 years old, a lot of trucking companies, a lot of truckers, they'll trade their truck off for tax reasons. They'll trade the truck off and buy another one for the depreciation and how all that works, okay? So, it's not written in stone. I don't know this for fact, but I'm pretty sure they had it for about 4 years. They turned around and sold it, bought another truck probably, or maybe retired or whatever, and somebody else bought it. And whoever that somebody else was only had it for maybe less than a year, 9 months maybe, something like that, and doesn't look like they took very good care of it. You know, like I said, it looked like it was run hard and put up wet, you know, like old horse analogy. So anyway, so I decided to pass on that truck. I was like, I don't have good feelings about it. About a week later, the video comes out on YouTube for you guys. I've already decided not to buy this truck, right? The video comes out on YouTube and almost unanimous. Pass on it, Stan, pass on it, pass. So, you guys were right, you know. I mean, and now, how many of you, if I would have come out and said, man, I love this truck, and it was all positive, a lot of the comments would have been, go for it, Stan, go for it. We can't wait till you get back in the truck, okay? So by my, I don't know. I think that influenced a lot of people on their ideas of the truck. Yes, better pass on it, So, but anyway, that's the history on that, or the story on the blue truck, and why I passed on it and decided not to buy it. And I'm still looking. I came across another truck. Here's one I came across. I'm floating ideas. You know, do I need a big sleeper truck? Would it be cool to have an old antique truck? You know, and I found one on Truck Paper, and it's a Peterbilt 359. It's the model before today's big, what do you call them? Big hood trucks, Peterbilts, are 389 Peterbilts, okay? And they're the ones with the big square classic hood, 389s. And you can tell them by the headlights, they have this kind of like a frog eye or snail eyeball headlight pod, you know? I don't know, something goofy about those headlight pods. Anyway, it's a 389. Well, 389s all have the emissions on them. They changed that hood design at the same time they changed and had to put all the emissions on them. So if you get a 389, it's going to have emissions on it, unless it's a glider kit, of course. A 379 was pre-emission stuff from 07 and earlier, okay? Well, you go back to 87. In 87 was the first year they came out with the 379 model. Before that was the 359 model, okay? Well, the 359 model is a cool truck. I mean, that's the kind of truck that most drivers drool over. They just, oh man, that's a cool truck there. The dash has that old rounded humped Corvette dash, like the old mid-50s Corvette dashes. It just has the cool factor. It's just, I know a lot of the newer drivers nowadays, they look, oh, I like that aerodynamic look of these trucks, and you know, that sleek modern look. And a 359 is the throwback to the older truckers like me and a lot of my friends and everything. Kirk would be along with that. We look at the 359 in a trucker's eye the same way as some guy looks at an old 69 Chevelle or a 69 Mach 1 or, you know, an old 63 Corvette, split window Corvette or something like, man, that's a classic. Ooh. Anyway, I found this one. It's for sale right here, not too far from Dallas, and it's a 359. It's got all the cool stuff. It's got the 4 1/4 cap. Great motor, great motor. It's got the twin sticks. It's got 6 and 4 twin sticks, and so instead of me having a single stick gear shift manual and not wanting to go to the automatic, this goes back farther in time, back in history when they were 2 gear shifts. You know, so. You got a twin stick, and man, that would be cool. That would be cool to have one of those. The problem I have with this particular truck is the sleeper. If I was running like Kirk does, and he's home most nights, you know, he stays in the truck one night out of the week kind of thing, in the wintertime when he's trucking. He doesn't stay on the road very long. He goes out and comes right back home. Goes out and comes right back home. If I was doing that kind of thing, I'd buy this truck in a heartbeat. Man, this is sweet, okay? But I'm planning on going out and living in it a lot like I did the other one, you know, full time. And a little 63-inch flat top, that's hard to live in. Now, back in 1972, when that was considered a big sleeper, that was nice. But in today's modern era and everything, it's nice to have that big sleeper. So 63-inch flat top's pretty hard to live in. There's not a lot of room to put your clothes, and you know, I don't know. You look cool going down the road, but you live hard. So I'm going to pass on that one. This particular truck, the reason they want $110,000 for this truck, for an 84, I think, or an 86 Peterbilt. They want $110,000. That truck, brand new, was probably about $35,000, brand spanking new. You know, so maybe not that, maybe about 50, somewhere around that range. So why does it cost so much? Because this particular truck has been completely overhauled, completely restored, okay, all the way down to the frame. Actually, I don't even think it has original frames on it. They probably took modern frames and put under it. Modern suspension, modern axles, modern tires, all the little things that are nice to have. Back when this truck was made, they had what they call the inner and outer lug nuts. You know, the inner wheel had a set of lug nuts, and then there's threads on that lug nut, and another wheel goes on it, and there's another lug nut went on. So for every dual, instead of having 10 lug nuts, you got 20 lug nuts. So, you know, for each dual set of tires. They changed that over, I don't know what year that was, but they came out with this newer, what they call a hub piloted wheel, where both wheels go on. The hub actually centers the wheel on the axle, and then you just put 10 lug nuts on. So one lug nut holds both wheels on, you know. That's very nice to have, okay? Those old dual lug nut things, they were a pain in the butt. Almost like split rim wheels, you know, they were a pain in the butt. And so it's got all that new stuff put on it, but it has all the old good stuff, you know, the old hood, the old cab, the old dash, the old sleeper, twin sticks, the 4 1/4, everything about it was cool, but it had the other things that were upgraded on it. Completely, all the way down to frame, completely new. Basically, it's a brand new truck, you know, is what I'm getting at. And that would be cool to have. I would really like to have that truck, and but for the kind of trucking I want to do, it doesn't quite fit. So with that, still keep an eye out. Whenever that truck comes along, I'll spot it and go, that's it, I found it, you know. Until then, people constantly sending me emails and hey, what about this truck here? And what about, I found this truck for you, you know. And 90% of the time, I've already seen that truck on ads somewhere. Now, every now and again, somebody shows me one that I haven't seen, and I'm like, oh, okay, but just it doesn't stir that emotion, you know. So anyway, oh, my pipe went out. I guess I rattled along long enough here, so I'll let you go. We'll talk at you later, and keep an eye out for me, I guess. So, ciao.